Warning: this video contains graphic images and subject matter.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Deedwit, welcome to Merrily Merrilled. This is the part where I forget what I'm saying, and I thought I would do a video the day before the shoot, as I'm, you know. The persona I'm going to be using for this shoot is tentatively called Penny, and Penny is a bass, a sea bass, or a lake bass, we don't know, but I dressed as Penny for my first real photo shoot last summer in my Bass Life tale, and I named her Penny because when a kid had asked why I wasn't swimming in the fountain I was next to, I kind of panicked and said that there were too many pennies in there and it was dirty and people are swimming in there all the kids. Gave like a weird answer. So I named her Penny, and I think it is poignant because I've been contemplating, I mean obviously for a while, but particularly very recently about money, about how to move forward in the mermaid community, and as a mermaid, like having no expendable income. Now I'm grateful to have been able to purchase tails in the past, so I have kind of a stockpile of, I have a couple of tails that I can wear, and so I'm very grateful to have those, don't get me wrong, but it certainly is difficult to see all these new tails coming out, and new tops that are being made, new companies that are emerging, and I would love to be able to take part in all of this, and just to know that, like, I don't have the ability to almost indefinitely, just because of my financial situation. There are things that I could be doing, that I can do to keep things going, because I want things to keep going, and one of the things that I can do is continue these adventures. Now I'm lucky to be able to continue these adventures, and I'm going to take a brief second to explain why. This is difficult to say, because it is like on the border of being a crime. On my sister's birthday, I went and celebrated with her and her boyfriend and his family, and I had the opportunity to drink a 3.5% alcohol beer, and I chose to drink whatever vodka mixed drinks they would make me. And I never drink hard alcohol, and I don't know why this was my choice, but this was my choice. And I had an undefined amount of vodka this evening, and at the end of the night, I don't like to stay anywhere that isn't my house. It makes me uncomfortable. So at the end of the night, I'm like, oh, I'm going home. They're like, are you sure you don't want to stay here? I'm like, no, I'll be fine. And I drive home, right? Or I try to drive home, and I'm like following my GPS, and I take this corner too hard, and I slam into the metal bumper, and I pop a tire, and it's this whole ordeal where I was lucky I did not get hurt. I was lucky I didn't hurt anyone. I was lucky the cops did not come. I was lucky that I was able to pull off somewhere safe and fall asleep for a couple of hours before dealing with it. I was lucky that I got home. I was lucky that, like, the worst damage was that I needed to get a new tire and get one of, like, so many things could have gone wrong with that, and they didn't, and I will never not be grateful for that. But there was a moment there where I had, like, my spare tire on, and just, I'm already broke, and I had no idea how I was going to fix it, what was wrong with my car. My steering wheel was shaking driving, which turned out to just be, like, my hubcap is bent, and there couldn't be a better truth that ended up, like, a better end to the story. But for a moment there, like, everything was gone. You know what I mean? Like, I was afraid to drive that car because I didn't know how much damage I had done to it. And I was on a tire that wouldn't last me very long. And that would have meant I couldn't get to my jobs. That would have meant I might have had to, like, I don't know what was going to happen. Like I said, luckily, I was able, people were kind to me, and I was able to get everything back to where I can drive my car and keep my jobs. But there was that, like, one moment of, I never do that. I haven't, honestly, I haven't, like, drank and I don't drink and drive, and I haven't done that in, like, seriously, like, 7 years or something like that. I don't do that, and I never drink hard alcohol, you know. I like the occasional hot toddy, you know, but I would never just drink. I mean, it must have been, I can't imagine how many shots I had. Like, it had to have at least been, like, 8. I mean, I can't tell you when that has ever happened. Ever. And that I've been that drunk. There were a couple of times, of course, when I worked at a beer bar, and we'd have a few beers, and I would get a lot more drunk than I thought. But I lived, like, less than a mile away from the place as well. And so it wasn't being drunk somewhere where you've never been before, trying to get home, read a GPS that you can't, like, just all of it. I never do that. That never, like, that one time in 7 years that happens to happen for like, no good reason. And just that one moment is enough to take everything away. And so this is not a PSA for not drinking. I can't say that I will never, you know, have a glass of wine again, but I will never have hard alcohol again, and I will never drive drunk again. I will never do that, because that was everything. That was my whole life. And so, yeah, I can be upset at what I can't afford, or I could just be happy for what I'm afforded. You know, I could just be fucking grateful that didn't happen. And that would have been all of my money. That would have been all of my jobs. That would have been my whole life. Like, everything would have been taken. I'm already to the point where I have to, like, pay rent on the day where I could potentially get evicted. You know, just because of how the job overlap happened. You know, and this next month it's not going to be like that, because I'll have enough hours, and you don't care, but I care. So all towards the end point, but it was just so close, you know. And so I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I still can go on these adventures by the grace of the gods.
Good morning. I'm having trouble getting up today. My cat's trying my best. I didn't really get the things done for this shoot that I had been hoping for. I found out last night I lost a friend. He was the father of the woman I recently worked for. And that the mermaiding isn't important, but it just kind of took the air out of the balloon a little. So I'm gonna get up, and we're still gonna do a mermaid adventure, but it's not gonna be elaborate like I was hoping. I'll just keep it simple today.
I wanted to take this moment doing my makeup to kind of, you know how I do. So last night, I found out that I lost a friend, and there has been a lot of loss in many ways, and summer is coming to an end, which has its own kind of feel to it. I'm big on the seasons. If you have watched my channel or just know me, they play a big role in my life. So autumn ending specifically, first of all, it's like the birthdays of all of my family, or a lot of my family. It is also the birthday of a gentleman with whom I had a romance, and this year I opted not to wish him a happy birthday because I don't really have Facebook anymore, and I didn't want to, I don't know, make him feel bad or stir the embers or whatever, but I've been feeling bad about it ever since. Even though things didn't work out, it's still part of my history, it's still part of my life, and I still remember it. What I need to do is to find my own story and to find my own way of being, and the people that have come along in my life, they're part of that, and they never stop being a part of that, but I can't live my day-to-day where they and my past are all of that. And right now, or at least in the last 6 months or so, I've been getting into the mindset of like the shift from where you're excited for the future and what it could hold, and you're going forward, versus you're continuously looking back and saying, I miss what I had, wasn't that great when I had that, I remember this, and you get where you're looking backwards instead of looking forwards. And like, that's the point, guys, where it peaks and falls off. I don't know any nicer way to say this. There is no nice way to say it. That's where it starts the decline. That's when you start to die, is when you have nothing that you're going forward for, that you have nothing you're reaching for, that you don't keep going, and you don't always want to keep going, but then you realize that life is still like going on around you. Like, you feel like momentum has stopped, but it hasn't. You just are like laying on the ground while momentum's going on around you, and then eventually you just have to be like, oh, and you get up and you get back into it. So I need to get to this second part of the story, or maybe the next part of the story, whatever phase we're in, I need to get to the next part so that I can keep going, and so that I don't die here, like metaphorically, and physically. I think it would be weird to die in Portland. The thing about, like, being in love is that there's always a language to it. There's always some way that you and this other person are communicating that nobody else knows really what it is or what it means, and you can't explain it to anybody else. Just the two of you know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Where I'm going with this is that one of the poems was by Raymond Bradbury, and it was Farewell Summer. And it was an attempted goodbye, right? But of course, any end just blooms a new beginning. So, while this summer is ending, and while relationships end, and while lives end, it's not really over. I was going for a sea bass / Viking, but I've got kind of like Black Swan vibes going on now. This lipstick is like turning or something, guys. Watch. It's so gross. Costume is done. We are about ready to go. I forgot that I didn't tell you where we're going. We're gonna go to Trillium Lake because it looks like there are some good waterfalls there. Potentiality for, you know, a lake, but it's a very scenic lake that is very still and reflective. So hopefully we're gonna go there, and if not, we're gonna go somewhere. Trillium Lake's an hour and a half drive. Ooh. I know that's not that far, but I had planned on today being a quick adventure, which I don't know why I did that, because they never are, but I know it would be worth it, so I know it would. But I kind of, this is the first, like, this is the first trip that I've taken since having my little, who's a what's it with my car, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't know that for sure, and I just found out on this little adventure that I had with my car that AAA will not tow my car until there are valid plates. Now, that's a whole nother story, but I just put the application for the valid plates in the mail. Until I have those, I can't rely on getting help if I need it if I drive too far. So we're gonna have to find somewhere else to go that is more local and just have to make that do. After further research, we are going to Henry Hagg Lake, which is only 45 minutes away, only 26 miles. Looks like a really beautiful lake. There's rumors, unsubstantiated, of an underwater cemetery based on pretty much nothing. And it seems like a nice, almost gives me like countryside vibes. So I really like that. Trillium Lake's kind of up in the mountains more, and would probably include a lot more hiking. Well, without further ado, let's go to Henry Hagg Lake. Let's go to Hagg Lake! I'm hoping the audio is going to be good on this. I'm resting my phone on, I don't know what I'm telling you about. It either will be good or it won't be good. Speaking of being good or not being good, this whole Black Swan makeup thing really did make me think of just, I'm not an expert at Swan Lake, but I do know that there is an aspect of the Black Swan that's like accepting that dark part of yourself, I guess. And it's a theme we've explored on this channel before. But it made me think for a second, like, I don't know, it's kind of becoming, I don't know how to go about this. I'm a good person, or at least I want to be. I try to be. But I have to come to terms with why others might find me to be the villain. Why I am the villain to some other people, and how I do or need to embrace the darker parts of myself to just break through and get my life going again. A big part of why I left the job that this gentleman who passed's daughter was running. That's a sentence. A big part of why I left was because a lot of things were not functional about it. A lot of things were not good about it. And the biggest reason to have stayed besides trying to help out this family, was money. And ultimately, I left because staying there and giving up, I'm not going to go into why, so on and so forth, but giving up what I believed in and what I think is right and what I know to be true about kitchens, continuing to work at a place where it is not good, a place where I know I shouldn't be, just for money. That is what, to me, that is what selling your soul is giving up your principles for reward. And maybe it left me really broke to leave that job, and I had to like borrow more money from somebody who thinks that she gave me money, and she has never suggested that she thinks I'm a money grubber. But that idea is under the surface and validated by every time I take money from her. So, this place left me in a very difficult position because I stuck by my principles and said I wasn't going to sell out for that paycheck. But you know, that comes with the sacrifice of folks around me thinking that I don't have the ability to take care of myself or make proper decisions in the workplace because I didn't just continue through and work through this job just to make that money. But at the same time, like, that was my chance to prove that it's not about money and that I'm not about money. And so folks can think I'm, you know, a money grubber if they want. It can, but it simply isn't true. So the only parking is like what this dude is doing, off-roading it, and we might do that, but since all of the damage done to my car recently was like with my tires and possible alignment, and that was the concern, what we're gonna do is just keep, I mean, it's a big lake, maybe there's another inlet. So here we are at Tanner Creek, which I'm sure the universe thinks is very hilarious for a potential selkie, but I've decided this. Sorry. But my coffee makes a lot of noise, so I'm probably going to chop this part out, at least for the sound. Or you're gonna have to listen to that lovely rattle. But aside from a family down there and a couple who just got here, we pretty much have this little place to ourselves. Which I always thought I preferred as far as like people seeing me in costume, but I think it's also better for filming, not to have a lot of people around, just aside from like a parade or a public event. People really don't like being filmed. We've come across what I believe is like either crab apples or pears. Looks like there's a lot of worms in there, but I mean like some worms, but there's worms in most organic fruit. So just like dig in, I guess, I don't know. Well, oh, pretty good. I still don't know what that is. I think it's an apple. It's not very sweet.
Oh, I see. Look at that gush, huh? This is plus natural water vegetation. The water is nice and warm. Smells pretty clean. Minus this is like super sludgy, which I did not anticipate. My boots are like getting soaked. Oh. I thought that wasn't real for a second. Oh. Come back, you're lovely. Do you see him? As far as shoots go, I'm gonna have to find like a dry place. I think bugs might also be a concern here. I like this little bluff here. I do love all of this here. And I also think that there's some merit over here. Something I didn't expect. I don't know if you can see that. And then I found like little, it's not just eggs and stuff, like there's like marine life on this beach, which I did not expect. Oh, I'm getting set up for a little shoot here anyway. But I'm feeling ways about stuff, you know. When do I not feel ways about stuff? But usually these adventures are some sort of lesson from the universe, you know what I mean? Some greater lesson. And perhaps embracing that dark part of myself is having to also come to terms with the facts that while somebody's always going to think you're in the wrong, you're going to feel guilty for a lot of things that you didn't do wrong. And people are going to want you to feel bad. And I don't want to feel like that anymore. This ground is too hard. What a Goldilocks moment here. The ground over there is too wet and mushy. This ground's too hard. I don't know what to do. The ground over there is pretty good, but that's like not the water. It's not where mermaids go. But this desert's not where mermaids go either. Alright. I can't, by the way, the sun is so bright. The sun is too bright. The ground's really hard. I'm like drying out here, and I can't see any of the footage that I'm shooting. It's like, it's so bright. I can't see any of the screens of, like, just barely see the screens here. So I don't really know what the footage for this video is gonna look like. I am hoping that I got at least 1 or 2 decent pictures. If not, I mean, I will find out later. And the scenery is beautiful, I know that. And that's all that really matters. That's all we're really here for, guys, is the travel adventure. I mean, you don't come to see me fail, do you? Probably do. It's a good place for Pinterest fail on this channel. Although it's not Pinterest, it's just fail. And how much more can you fail than putting a mermaid in the fucking desert? Actually, that was one thing that I had thought was really cool about the Portlandia mermaid parade, the segment where she went over different types of mermaids from different cultures. The idea of a mermaid in the desert is like such a cool idea. I think that I would like to do something with that artistically. If not, I mean, like, I guess we're doing that right now, and it sucks. But we're not close enough to the water. I mean, if she was in an oasis, then it would be fine. But, this is just the hard ground. But I guess, I don't know, like in the soft sands or whatever, you know, that would be a cool idea to explore. This is not an exploration so much as it is just like trying to make it function. Dry and dusty, like a cracked desert over here. Like, I'm literally losing pieces of my of my things. It's breaking my costume apart because it's so like it's not really been working, but you know, I'm going to run a film anyway. Getting so warm that my equipment is overheating, and sweat's starting to roll down my face, and I don't know what it's doing to my makeup. So we're gonna pack it in and see if there's anywhere else. Maybe we can shoot for a little bit, but we gotta cool down. Okay. Every time you take a step, even when you don't want to, when it hurts, when it means you rub chins with death, or even if it means dying, that's good. Anything that moves ahead wins. No chess game was ever won by the player who sat for a lifetime thinking of his next move. Kind of wondering how bad my makeup's like running. Can't really see. I'm still wearing clothes, but I took off the necklace, and it's a lot. It's hot. My car says it's 77. I don't believe that for a second. It is so warm. I wasn't sweating this much in like the 115 degree weather, so I don't trust lost shit. Social anxiety mermaid moment. Should I go? Should I stay? You know, I think I'm afraid of offending nice people. You know, something about being a mermaid in public are kind of somewhat expected to, I don't know, be diplomatic or be like, I don't know, appropriate and agreeable with children. The first interaction I had with like people seeing that I was a mermaid, they told me that there were two people's birthdays, and I said happy birthday to one of them, and I failed to say happy birthday to the other one, and it upset them. And he's like, or that time, the other time when I was being Penny, and I gave that really ridiculous response to his questions when I could have just opted out to be silent. And I guess I'm nervous because of that, because like I can't help being awkward. I'm sorry. Maybe I should be more diplomatic as a mermaid, but I'm not, and I don't know how to deal with it. "'Tis warm, sir, 'tis warm, but if we can get down there, the water seemed decent." Look at that, like, just, it's like dried clay. It's like, I don't know, this is intense. Beach bramble, black, or yes, beach bramble. I won't fuck that up. It's like driftwood blackberry bushes. It's a gift from the gods. Blackberry bushes have been, bramble's been. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Oh. This happened to, what's his name? I'm stuck. Sorry. You know what I mean. So I went to go exploring before doing the shoot, and I found a wasp's nest and also like child's shorts with a piece of a spinal vertebrae near it. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go over there. So cut to now, right? Still haven't taken my photo shoot, but I found this weird like marker in the dirt, so I dug there just to see, you know, if there were bodies and that. There's nothing here, it seems like, except for these, you know, rocks that look a little bit like teeth. But I don't think they are teeth. Couldn't prove that they were teeth. And I think I'm just digging in the dirt like a maniac. But I did find another bone. So that's 3 bones that I found. First of all, we came here because the internet told us that there was some sort of underground cemetery. So we're not surprised that it's possible that there could be, you know, remains here. It's just weird is all that this fishing line is under this, like, fresh, moist clay that's under the... Maybe it's been here for a really long time. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe I'm just nuts. Let's see. I don't think I'm nuts. I just might be incorrect. The rest of it probably is over there. I've looked around, and all the clay on this beach looks like bones, so I'm calling it. I don't see anything more. Should keep going. Isn't this a weird turn of events? I'm out here like looking for a body. I'm gonna go over there and see if I can't find anything. This is so weird, guys. But like, I don't know. Like, we can't stop. Just found this. Right. Not sure what that is. It's a vertebrae. What's going on in here? What is that? Is that teeth? That's not teeth. Oh, I can't even get it open. It's maybe it's some sort of creature. It kind of looks like teeth. It kind of looks like teeth. Okay, we're bringing that one back too. Okay. It kind of looks like teeth. Don't bite me, don't sting me. I have to get away from the water. Shut up. Holy shit. Holy shit. Shit is getting ridiculous. Focus, shit. Focus. Also, can I just mention that this is like what I'm doing because I just found it. Like, there's something wrong with me. Okay. Get in now. Straight out of your fucking nightmares. Alright. I'm really just looking for the one body today. So we're gonna focus. We're gonna focus. I bet I can't even imagine how many bodies there are in this plot of land, really. But thinking about it, I don't know why I'm like looking for them. Sounds potentially dangerous. I should just go back to my car with my cup of teeth that I found and call it a fucking day. Oh my goodness, why am I still searching? I didn't bring real clothes either, so we're stuck in this getup until I find the dead, I guess. I don't know. There's legitimately something wrong with me. You know what it is? Just like, if I could just solve a portion of the evil in this world, just a little bit of it. Didn't have to be all of it, you know? Doesn't have to be everybody that's here. If I could just like help one person, you know. It is ultimately like, I think like beings want justice for wrongs that are done, you know. There's the other one of those. I thought it was an eyeball, but I wasn't sure. Maybe it's like a hollowed out fruit or something? I don't know, probably. Eyeballs probably don't do that, do they? Let's touch it with my bare hand. Yeah, that seems legit. That does seem a little bit like an eyeball. Alright, we'll take it with us. Ooh, what's this? Oh, that's vegetation. Wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting that. I'm half tempted to keep looking, but I think that I need to go just let somebody know. And I'm gonna put it on this video, included in this video, because A, it was the second half of the adventure turned into like a body hunt, and then B, I don't entirely trust Portland police to do anything about it. Unfortunately, it did look like the sheriff that was here took off as I was walking to my car, and I was walking on the other side of the vehicle so I wouldn't be in the road, and I didn't see him till he passed. So I'm going to try and catch up with maybe the gents who sold me a parking pass, but I don't really know who to inform about this. Just the cops, I guess, but they got shit to do. I don't know. I'm trying to remember like any of the themes of this video. Obviously one of them was don't drink and drive, but I can't promise that I'm not gonna like my bluff was called on taking the villain's approach. I think if I'm crawling around on my belly looking for remains to bring justice to people I don't know, maybe I'm a good guy, which is nice. Someone once told me sin well, so maybe you can be a good guy and still, maybe you can not drink and drive but still have a drink. It's,
I was going to write a police report. They suggest that you do it online if it's not an emergency. But then I started thinking I gathered all of the remains that I found and I put them in a big weird pile. And somebody tomorrow is gonna come to the lake to kayak or something, and they're gonna find a cup full of teeth and some eyeballs. So I should probably call it.
Please do not hang up. This is the 911 emergency line. The call taker will be with you as soon as possible. Do not hang up. We may not be able to send help or call you back if you hang up. Please stay on the line and have your address or location ready for the next available call taker. Thank you.
I actually forgot about this. Last time I called, it took almost 2 minutes to get a hold of 911.
Okay, and what makes you think there are human remains?
I found part of a spinal bone. I found another couple of bones. I found the spinal bone almost within a foot of a pair of child's pants. I found a cup full of what looked to be teeth. I found what looked to be like mummified eyeballs. There's just a lot of weird stuff, and I think somebody should check it out. Hi, people. So I've had 2 calls with the deputy sheriff so far. He is currently on the beach. He just found where I described the remains were. So he's going to verify whether or not he believes they're actually human remains, and we'll go from there. Hello?
Hello, this is Deputy Sheriff's Office again.
Hi there.
Hey, so just wanted to give you an update. The medical examiner looked at the bones and he determined they're animal bones.
All of them?
Yeah, so I just wanted to give you a heads up. The things that looked like teeth were actually rocks, and then the 3 bones that were animal bones. So just wanted to give you an update on that.
I appreciate that. Did you find out what the eyes were?
Those were actually from oak trees. There's the oak tree seed that falls from the oak trees. So I can see why they kind of look like mummified eyes, but they're those. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but
I thought what fell from oak trees were acorns. Am I wrong on that?
Well, yes. It's these things that fall from a certain type of tree. I'm not sure if it's an oak tree or. I used to have them when I was a kid that would fall out of my tree, and I inspected it. It was organic. It's hard to describe what they are. They're like these circular things that if you step on them really hard, it kind of like a puff of smoke comes out of them. But that's what those were. And so yeah, I just wanted to let you know.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you for looking into it. So somebody just went around collecting rocks that look like teeth and put them in a cup and then hid them. Not that I'm knocking forensic specialists, but animal bones. Just fucking nondescript any animal but human, that's what that is. I get it. I understand that I'm wrong in this situation. But I find it suspicious nonetheless. Also, he was... Bro. I don't know why this is freaking me out. I can be wrong, but he went from finding the remains to being done at the medical examiner's within a half hour. 40 minutes tops. Like, where did he go? Where did he go to have those examined? Step on you when dust comes out. Well, they didn't say anything about the pants. Those are legitimate pants that I found. Those pants are real. 11 o'clock on a Sunday night. I'm sorry, I can't even with this guy. This is so weird. Where did you go in a half hour on a Sunday night at 11 o'clock to find a medical examiner? Just, like, I don't know. I'm sure it's... This is random, but, clowns.